August.
We're rolling.
All right, for those of you on YouTube, we're going to give you the behind the scenes.
Oh, we're behind the scenes. We haven't started yet.
Well, we're giving them behind the scenes as to how we start. Here's what we do. We have to do a little clap like this. We go, yeah, well then.
We got to do a little.
We got to make sure our shoulders are
Yeah, we got to do a little jig.
Then we go, to make sure that they can sync up, whatever they sync up. Then we go, welcome. Nope, sorry. Aloha. Welcome. Actually, the aloha was kind of a different tune, so let's do it again. Aloha. And welcome to the Growth Cast presented by the Multifamily Mindset. My name's Tyler Deveraux. That's JC Jackson. Kisniz Campbell. Yeah, we switched it up.
Okay.
We don't usually call his name like that, but
no, I'm Jackson Campbell.
Kisniz Campbell. You can tell that
Zoa's pumping through the veins.
You got half a Zoa drink. Actually, I only got a quarter of a drink. Wait till I get to half. Anyway, we're back.
We're back.
We're here. It's a Friday.
Yes.
And I love Friday. I do too.
Man, they're the best.
They are the best, man.
The best, man.
All right, so I hope you're having a great Aloha Friday. And if you're listening to this on Saturday, well, you're behind the 8 ball, mother effer.
Well, somebody already listened to it. Somebody's already
listening and applying.
Yep.
Well, welcome. Glad to have you, okay? Any day, even if it's Monday. In fact, it's a great thing. Anyway, let's dive in. What are we talking about
today? Today we're going to talk about some multifamily resources and how someone can get started acquiring multifamily properties. So yeah, that's where we want to go. That's where we want to go with it. Last week, do you remember what we talked about last week?
I can't know.
We recorded it a couple of weeks ago. I can't remember what it was. It wasn't the Spartan race one. It was the growth. The splash. The splash.
How to make a splash.
See that strap?
Thank you.
How to make a splash.
Strap knows because he edits and listens and yes, we just chat.
No. So yes, how to make a splash in the multifamily space. And this is going to really tie right into that episode because this is going to be some amazing resources that you can use in the multifamily space. So let's dive in. Before we do that though, you went out last weekend. You were in.
But before we even talk about that, tell the new listeners how the outline is.
Oh yes, thank you for the reminder. Yes, so the growth cast goes this way. Monday through Thursday, we've got daily drips with Dallas Pruitt.
DP.
Yeah, Dallas Pruitt. He's going to drop 5 to 10 minute long episodes, mindset, principles, tips, tricks, tactics, advice on those 10-minute episodes. Those are really, really powerful. Those are like I said, Monday through Thursday. Friday, we've got Aloha Friday with myself and Tyler Deveraux, where I get to sit down and interview Ty, pick his brain about some of these things. And then on Saturday, I get the opportunity to sit down and interview Dallas.
Yes.
And we get to kind of do the same thing with Dallas. Instead of him preparing content, I get to hit him with some questions and kind of get some fresh, new guidance on whatever topic I feel like talking to him about. So
but we're switching it up, right?
We are going to switch it up, yeah.
Here's what we're going to start doing. We're going to start having more guests on the podcast. So here's 2 actionables for you right out the gate. Get your pens down, or if you're millennial, grab your phone. Jackson, are you still a millennial?
Am I still a millennial?
Or are you like
you're born in
Gen Z?
And I think I'm technically a millennial.
Oh, okay.
I think you are too, aren't you?
I am, yep. We're the
Okay.
same generation, mother effer. Hey, so here's your first actionable. Write it down, tap it in. 1, who should we have on the Growth Cast? Okay, who should we have? There are some guests that you'd be interested in hearing. Okay. Number 2, do you want to be on the Growth Cast? Are you cool enough to be? Well, you're definitely cool enough to be interviewed on the podcast. But do you want to be interviewed on the podcast? If so, where can they hit us up at?
They can hit us up multiple places. You can email me directly, Jackson at themultifamilymindset.com.
Love it.
Or you can email growthcast at themultifamilymindset.com as well.
Growthcast at themultifamilymindset.com or
Jackson.
JACKSON at the Multifamily Mindset. Okay.
Yes.
Love it. We'd love to chat with you.
Excited about that new flow that we're going to be running now. Be able to highlight some of our students, highlight some other people in the industry as well. Just going to bring more value onto the podcast. It's going to be awesome. Awesome. So you were out in Minneapolis this last week. How was it?
Dude, I've been in Minnie for a long time.
Yeah?
For a long time. We're talking like, I was thinking back, I think it was like 2010.
Oh, wow.
It's a long time.
You used to go there, yeah.
So, it was very fun to be back in Minneapolis, and great group. Dude, very fun from the get. Like it's always fun when you can tell people are engaged and they're engaged and they're grateful to be there, right? And sometimes you get people that are grateful to be there, they just don't show that they're grateful to be there. And that's a little bit, exhausting sometimes.
Yeah.
It just is.
As a presenter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you get those people that are grateful to be there, and the energy that provides is huge, man. We went until 7 o'clock. So we started at 8:30. We went till 7 on Friday, 7 on Saturday. Usually we end around 4 on Sunday, and we went till a little after 5, 5:10, 5:15, something like that. Do you want to know why though? Questions. There was one time we started right in the very beginning, right? And I really think that this lady was trying to help me. And so, I won't name drop, but you know who you are if you're listening to this, because what she said, and then there was, a couple people who were just asking me a lot of questions right out the gate, just from first session. I love questions, dude. Like I do, it keeps me on my toes. I love it.
Yeah.
But at the end, this lady's like, hey, raise her hand. She's like, hey, I'm fairly new to something, but some of these questions just, I don't feel like they apply. And so maybe can we just keep those questions to, or maybe we, save a space at the end to be able to have some questions. And I was like, so as long as the question doesn't apply to you, then
You want to move on.
Then you just want to move on? And there's 150 people in here, so I know what I'm doing here. Pump your freaking brakes. I got it.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay.
My bad.
But I really think she's trying to help me,
Sure.
Those questions are awesome because it shows engagement and interest.
Yeah, and then it's also the best way to learn by asking
For
questions.
everyone.
For everyone.
Yeah.
Like, though the question may not have applied to her in that specific moment, it probably applied to a bunch of other people in that room as well.
What I told her was, so somebody's asking a question who has a little bit more experience than you. Well, maybe you should write that question down so you can learn from their experience, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, let's dive in, dude.
Let's dive in, dude. Anyway, okay, so today we want to talk about resources that we can use in the multifamily space. First question, just right off the bat, let's go. What are different resources available to someone with little to no experience in the multifamily space?
Dude, tons and tons and tons of resources. I know that's kind of a loaded question, but listen, I'll tell you this. If I were...
Okay, let me rephrase it. If you were to start all over again, where would you begin?
I love that question. That's awesome.
Yeah, let's go there.
I love that. Well, dude, that's also a tough question though, because I like how I started.
Yeah.
I do. I knew nothing about the multifamily space. Like I knew that it existed,
Yeah.
but I didn't know it was possible. I didn't know how to make it work. I didn't know how to structure the deals. I didn't know any of that stuff. Ran into Ryan at the airport. Right, Ryan, Wooly, my family. Well, he does my family.
For sure. Yeah.
My partner in every business that we've started since, and he just went to a training and learned about it and told me about it. And, dude, we're talking like we knew each other, but we definitely weren't friends like we are. We knew each other and we were cordial, like acquaintances, right?
Yeah.
But dude, now Ryan's my best friend. Like he just is. I love the dude. You know that.
Yeah,
Like,
you just messed up and called him your family, but that's not even a mess up because he is your family.
Totally, dude. He is. But here's what happened. He went to an event, told me about it. So now I went to an event. But there's so many books, man. Great books on multifamily investing. There's events that you can go to. There's so if I look at two things, events, education and networking. Books give you education, podcasts, events, networking. That happens at events. That's also education. It also enhances your belief on what's possible. Going into this business, it's like these are big deals. These are apartments you drive by and you're like, man, who in the world owns those things? Well, dude, regular everyday people own those things. How did they get to a position to own those things? Well, they had an open mind to know that maybe, just maybe, there's a way that something that they could learn to tap into that. See, so many people have this we're blinded by our own ignorance, right? It's like, well, no, nobody that I know owns those, so it must not be possible. That must just be for the super, super rich and the super, super wealthy and the 1% of the 1% and the, whatever it is. No, it's those people who got educated and built a network. It's the same thing that anybody can do. Anybody can do.
Yeah, so just very simple things right off the bat.
Totally.
Somebody can do. They're wanting to get into real estate. Start educating yourself.
Yep.
And get yourself out there and get into these networks.
Yes.
Start networking with these people. Then the more people you can touch base with too. Like you said, huge learning opportunities there.
Huge
opportunity.
Still for me for this day, because when does learning stop?
Never
stops.
Should.
So
Yeah.
I'm always trying to look for people that I can connect with and know other people, and so that I can be in the room, you know?
Yeah.
So, all the time.
What has being in the room done for you?
Oh, everything for me. It really has done everything for me, because this is very much a team sport, right? So being in the room has connected me with other individuals who have taught me different things, who have saved me from making mistakes, from their mistakes, their experiences that they've had, their knowledge, education, enhanced belief. Once again, just connections and momentum, you know?
Yeah.
Also accountability. Like when you're in this room, you see other people moving and grooving, and now you're like, hey, I'm doing the same thing. It continues to push you down the path. You see other people succeed, and it like enhances your belief in what's possible to help you go succeed.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, and like we talk about your inner circle all the time.
Yeah.
If you're trying to do something new, chances are you need a new inner circle. Chances are you need to surround yourself by new people at these networking events. No, so valuable. One of the questions that we get often is real estate agents ask, I'm a realtor, so it's easier for me to dive in, right? Or we have people that ask, do I need to be a real estate agent to get started in multifamily? So what's your answer there?
Yeah, all the time. This is the question.
Yeah.
Well, and it's funny because there's two aspects that you nailed it. It's, do I need to be a real estate agent, broker to get started? No, we're not real estate agents. We're not real estate brokers. We use real estate brokers.
Right.
A real estate agent is that's a more residential side. It's commercial listing brokers, typically who we tap into. But no, we use those individuals to source deals for us, right? You do not need to be one of those people. The other side of that is some brokers who have been on this other side now, right? They've been on this side where they're helping individuals like me buy deals, and they're like, well, shit, I've been a part of it. I see it happen. I know it's possible. I know these are, I'm just gonna go do it. And they think that they know how to do it. I don't know how to be a broker. I deal with brokers all the time. I see it go through. I don't know how to be a broker. I've never been a broker. Imagine and what's interesting, if I were to go to that broker and be like, hey man, I'm gonna be a broker, they'd be like, well, okay, I got a certificate. I got a license. You gotta go to the class, motherfucker. Come on. Shit. But they come to my class, right? And I'm like, well, dude, you gotta get educated.
Yeah.
I got a certificate. I got a license. I know what I'm doing. It's like, and then they're gonna go fall flat on their face. They know some stuff.
Right.
But I mean, good God praise, dude. The pride's an interesting thing, you know.
It is.
Listen, whatever you're going to learn, guess how you learn it? By learning it. By literally dedicating yourself to learning it, right? Anybody, listen to me. Anybody can go buy apartment buildings. Anybody. Like, if you saw some of the people that own apartment buildings, it would definitely enhance your belief on your ability to own apartment buildings. And that's not a knock on anybody. What I'm saying is, like, there's a whole array of people that own apartments, but those people who own apartments dedicate themselves to education, build a network, and continually grow their mindset on ways that they can grow in every aspect of their life, right?
So that's just another way, just real quick on what you just said, is build your mindset.
Yeah.
Doing multifamily real estate, not to like go too much down a rabbit hole here, but why we named multifamily mindset is because mindset is so important when doing multifamily properties.
Huge. I interviewed close to 100 people when we started the multifamily mindset. And this is before we even had the name. Like, we brainstormed, thought about stuff, but I interviewed people all the time because I'd been a part of past mentorship groups, and I'd also even trained for a mentorship company. And so I saw people come through this mentorship all the time, right? And I went through mentorships all the time. So I sat down and I asked them these different things that were their stumbling blocks. How to underwrite a deal certainly was a stumbling block. There was a ton of them. But the biggest was these individuals' mindset. Sitting down, like literally listening to them. And I'm listening to them to try to understand how to structure our program, because I'm one perspective.
Yeah.
You're one perspective.
Right.
I want as many perspectives as possible on how to build and grow, right?
Yeah.
And it was mindset, man. People just get in their own way. And so multifamily mindset is very critical, because multifamily is a mindset.
Yep.
Everything is a mindset. Mindset is everything. Dallas, if you're listening to this, mindset is everything. He'll always say mindset isn't everything, it impacts everything. That means it's everything. Dallas, damn it! Don't comment to this and say otherwise.
But dude, listen, it's a huge aspect, man. You have to enhance your mindset. You have to enhance your belief all the time.
Yeah. So that's just one of the things that these successful people that you've seen. It's just one of these things. But one of the things that they do is they put in the work.
Yeah.
They learn education, or they become educated. They learn education. They become educated in the space that they're getting ready to dive into.
Yep.
So, what are some resources that people can tap into now with not starting from ground up? What are some resources they can tap into?
Whether you're starting from ground up or wherever you're at.
Yeah.
Because if you haven't, I'll give you some. Let's get to some specifics. Okay.
Yeah.
Books are, obviously I'm a huge proponent of live events because it puts you in the room.
Yeah.
But I'm going to start with books because anybody and everybody can start with books. And when I started to read religiously, my life changed. And the more that I read, my life continues to change. I literally believe to myself, this is a story I tell myself all the time, that if I do not continue to read, then I will quit growing. I'll quit growing. These are mentors that you can tap into all the time.
Yeah.
So here's some books for you, okay? I have a couple books that are coming out soon.
Yeah, you do.
You should. It's been a long time coming, okay? But we'll talk about those when they come out, okay? Some of my favorites, though. Okay, one of my favorites by a guy named Joe Fairless is called The Best Ever Real Estate Syndication Book. Have you ever read that book? Bro, it's a phenomenal book.
I need to read it. Yeah.
Dave Lindahl has a book called Multifamily Millions, and that's a great book, okay?
Yep.
But I kind of look at it as it's a great book. Dude, it's pretty much, it's one of the first books I read in the multifamily space.
It's the first book I read in the multifamily space.
To tap me into it, right?
Yeah.
But the Best Ever Real Estate Syndication book by Joe Fairless took it to the next level. It's a great book, bro. And listen, Joe, I'd love to have Joe on this. But a lot of people would be like, hey, don't you look at Joe? He's another syndicator, right? He structures deals. Do you look at him as competition? I don't look at everyone's competition, sure, but that's not how I look at it. There is plenty to go around.
Yeah.
The guy, I'm grateful for Joe Fairless. That book helped me a ton, man.
It's awesome.
Homeboy took a lot of time to put it together.
And Joe Fairless obviously isn't scared of competition either, or he wouldn't have wrote a book. That's just like it just attests to the multifamily space, dude, and how much there is to go around.
An abundant mindset. You know what happens there? Joe Fairless puts this book together, an abundant mindset to go help more people understand the space. And guess what it does? It gives him massive credibility in the space of his knowledge, his breadth of knowledge, and what does that do? Enhances his business.
Yep.
Great book, okay?
Yeah.
Another one, which is it's not necessarily a real estate book, but it is a relationship book, and multifamily is a relationship-based business. I talk about that all the time. And it is How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Phenomenal book.
Great book.
Dude, it's essentially show interest in other people, right? Show interest in other people. Don't complain. Find solutions. Gratitude. It's really how to handle relationships. And people will think, man, I'm good at dealing with people and handling relationships. Well, go read that book and then with an open mind, and then see if you really are. That's a book that I will reread all the time, because it's great, just reminder. And you know what, man?
That's what books are too.
It's a reminder.
Yeah.
Because, dude, I had a meeting yesterday, and I was so condescending on that meeting. There was one comment that I made that it was so condescending, and I hung up from that meeting, and I'm embarrassed by it.
Yeah.
I am. It wasn't like intentional.
Sure.
But I'll tell you what. But that's the problem. It wasn't intentional. Our conversations, our interactions need to be intentional, right?
Yeah, totally.
It was all just. So I owe an apology phone call today for sure.
Yeah.
And how am I aware of that? Because I'm able to catch myself in error-ridden thinking. Dallas Pro principle.
Yep.
Recorrect, man.
Yeah.
So, but dude, Dale Carnegie, that book's phenomenal.
How to Win Friends and Influence People is the full title of the book.
Because think about the major aspects. Listen to me. The major aspects of this business: finding deals, raising capital, operating the deal. Boom. Okay. Operating the deal, finding the deal. That's the Best Ever Real Estate Syndication book. Great. There's a bunch in there, but that's a great start to that. Okay. Number 2 is and all those things take relationships. First off, every aspect of those things take relationships. So How to Win Friends and Influence People is going to help you tap into those relationships and do that strategically. Another aspect of this is raising capital, like I mentioned.
Yeah.
So one of my favorite books that I've ever read on raising capital is called Raising Capital for Real Estate by Hunter Thompson. Great book as well. I like these books because they're able to simplify the process, right?
Yeah.
They're able to take a complex topic and simplify it. Hunter Thompson did a great job with that with Raising Capital for Real Estate. Great book. And then all of those things, relationships, finding deals, sourcing money, all of those take sales. High-level communication. Well, it's one of my favorite things that I've ever heard you say is one of our conversations that we had. You said, I view sales as high-level communication. I have repeated that.
Awesome.
I have.
I love that,
I've
dude.
repeated that every training since. It's exactly what it is, though.
Good. Awesome.
Pitch Anything by Oren Klaff shows you how to have high-level conversations.
That's where I got that from, dude. That's so funny because that's one of my favorite books of all time, Pitch Anything, because it's a communication book, dude.
Exactly.
It's not a sales book. It's how to communicate.
Yep.
Yeah. At a high
great
level.
book. I talk about it every training class, frame control and how to go through that. And it's so funny when I start walking people through it because you say frame control and, one frame and immediately they're like, oh my God, it seems super aggressive. But then you walk them through it and I show them things that I've been doing all weekend. This is if I'm teaching a 3-day class, right?
Yeah.
Things that I've been doing all weekend to use frame control on them and they have no idea. All it is really high-level communication to make sure that your point gets driven across at the time that it needs to be driven.
Exactly, dude.
It's not trying to control every frame. It's really making sure that those really important points are driven home.
At the right time.
That is high-level communication.
Yes, dude. Well, I love how you just explained that.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Hey, Strat, cut it up.
Strat, cut that one up. That one's sick.
Jackson likes it. I like it.
That was awesome, dude. No, that was awesome. Okay, what else? What other resources can
Podcast, dude.
Okay.
Obviously, the best. I'm just going to tell you right now, the best podcast that you can go tap into. Right, I'm just telling you right now, the best podcast that you can tap into to understand mindset, multifamily business is the Growth Cast by the Multifamily Mindset. Come on,
hell yeah, it is, dude.
I'd say.
Come on.
It's a great podcast, though. Obviously, y'all know that because you're already tapping in, tuning in, and benefiting from all of it. So you're welcome. There's a number of them, though. The Multifamily Takeoff is another one. There is actually, Joe has the Best Ever Real Estate Syndication Show, I think is what it's called.
So, best ever?
Yeah, Best Ever Podcast.
I think that's what it is, yeah.
There is Bigger Pockets, one that I like.
Anyway, bunch of really good ones.
There's
bunch
tons,
of really
dude.
good
Go
podcasts.
Google top multifamily podcasts. I should have done that, but I listen to a ton of them all the time.
Yeah.
Why? Because it's my job to stay informed, right?
Yeah.
So I'm listening all the time. I'm like, what different operators are doing and how they're so resources. Think about this. As established as we are, I'm always looking for different resources, education, tips, tricks. I'm never listening to a podcast and trying to go apply everything that person says.
Right.
Nor should you ever
It's
try
ridiculous.
to apply everything that we say. It's done.
Yeah.
What you should do is take little bits and pieces that apply specifically to you and your situation at this moment, and then go apply that. You go try to apply everything, you can't. Take bits and pieces and go apply, right?
Yeah. So awesome. Okay, what else?
Educational events. We put on, and this is, listen, I've been to a ton of educational events, especially if you're starting or you're stuck in the space or you're looking to scale in the space, which is pretty much, if you're in the space, that's where you're at.
Yeah.
Do our events are the best, man. We put on a free educational event. It's a 90-minute presentation. We do them all over the country. Then we put on a 3-day presentation all over the country. You should come take a look at those 3 days, man. I just had, we have people come all the time.
Yeah.
Contacts, connections, people all the time, okay? And they always come, no matter what their level is, they're like, wow. Listen, man, there's been a lot of thought and effort into all those events.
Yeah.
And then those lead into a ton of events, man. We do mentorship trainings. We do, and those mentorship trainings branch into a whole bunch of different things.
Yeah.
Taps you into the network. I could go. Do you want me to go deep into what we do?
No, dude, I want to comment. I just want to comment on that.
Yeah.
One of the biggest benefits from joining an education network, the Multifamily Mindset, is the network that comes behind it.
Amen.
That's probably the biggest thing that comes with joining a network is everybody that's already there doing what you want to do. and that's there to help you do what you want to do and support you.
100% it.
It's the most valuable thing.
No,
So I
it's
just
good.
wanted to just tap that in there of what new people can do. Join a network.
Our network.
Our network.
And I'm dead serious when
Yeah,
I say
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Listen.
No, I'm right there with you, dude.
I feel bad for those people who aren't a part of our network. And
Me too.
I know that you guys probably expect me to say that, but I'm dead serious when I say that.
Yeah.
It does not mean that you shouldn't join other networks.
No.
There's some other networks that are great networks. But I'm 110% confident that no network provides what we provide. How do I know? Because I'm part of a bunch of different networks. They just don't, dude.
Yeah.
And you want to know why that is? Because of the people within our network.
Exactly.
It's exactly it.
That's exactly it.
We have, man, some of the most amazing people. Like, we have a private Facebook page. And that Facebook page, dude, it literally made me teary-eyed the other day. I was in Oakland scrolling through, and I was looking for a post that I'd seen come up. But then I'm scrolling through, I'm seeing a bunch of other posts. And I'm obviously, I jump on there, but it's like, I was really like reading these.
It's incredible.
It's amazing just the connections that people help other people make, and the people jumping in and answering other people's questions and connecting them to other people is what I meant by that. And then inspiring, encouraging, welcoming, like part of the thing.
Dude, that's the power of these multifamily mindset in particular.
Yeah.
The network and the support and encouragement that comes behind it.
Totally.
It's like the biggest resource that we have available at the Multifamily Mindset is the people.
Totally.
It's incredible, dude. It's
incredible. So all of y'all who are listening to this, who are part of our network, who are part of our mentorship group, who are on that Facebook page, I love you and I'm grateful for you and thank you for everything that you do to pour into the network.
We talk about it all the time.
All the time, man.
And how incredible it truly is and how incredible all y'all are.
Totally.
It, like Tyler says, it brings a tear to his eye every time we're talking about it. It's like we can't look each other in the eye because we'll start crying because it really is just such an amazing thing.
It's
and all
awesome,
these
man.
such amazing people in the Multifamily Mindset Network.
Totally.
Okay, dude. So what other resources are available for those within the Multifamily Mindset Network?
Yeah, so
So you got the Facebook page.
yeah, so I'll dive into that a little bit too because the coaches are on there all the time.
Yeah.
Coaches are on there answering questions. Ryan and I are on there answering questions, but the coaches, nobody compares with the coaches, and then the mentors within our group, right?
Yeah.
I look at one that Elisa Parrish is an example.
Mm-hmm.
Lisa is always out there. It is incredible to me how much she pours into other people. That's somebody, why does she do that? Because she cares, and she's grateful to be in the position that she's in. And literally, who are the best mentors? Mentors are mentors because they care,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
They care. So it's just an amazing thing, the mentors that are out there doing it. But we also have Peak Partnership, right? Peak Partnership it's my favorite event of the year.
Yeah,
by
me
a
too,
million.
for sure.
So, and Peak Partnership's coming up, by the way. If you have not registered for Peak Partnership, you should absolutely go to Peak Partnership. You want to know if this is a network you want to be a part of. You want to know the power of multifamily. Peak Partnership, man. Come to that event. It is February something in Orlando. Do you know the dates exactly?
7th and 8th.
No.
7th,
17th to 19th?
Pull it
It's
up
February. It's in February. Pull it up.
now. I'm pulling it up.
But man, go to Peak Partnership, man. It's just an amazing event. There's high-level speakers there, keynote speakers that come in. That's not why you go, though. That's not why you go.
17th, 18th, 19th.
17th, 18th, 19th of February in Orlando, Florida. That's not why you go, though, man. You go to connect with the network. For example, I just told you we talked about how I was in Minneapolis. Well, this is a small group, and we teach a bunch of those across the country. And all those small groups, the best of the best of those small groups, now all of a sudden meet that are amazing, magical, dude. If you don't believe it, go look at some of my posts and see the comments on there. They're magical. And then you get all those little groups together in one big group.
It's insane. It's insane. You go, pew, but it's seriously fireworks, dude.
It is,
The emotion, the energy, the traction that's gained that weekend.
Yeah.
It's an amazing event. And if you're not signed up, we're going to make sure that the link's in the bio.
Sweet.
Definitely click on the link in the bio and get signed up for that for sure.
100%, man. And then, do you know what we should do?
What?
We should put together some sort of a code for the Growth Cast.
Oh, we get a
They can use.
discount.
Sure.
Yeah, if they're Growth Cast listeners, they get a
You
discount.
help spearhead that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sweet.
Absolutely.
And then, dude, one more thing with the Facebook page is like, one thing that just came to mind is like, dude, I was just out in Miami and I got stranded in Miami. And I'm one of many that has done this, but I get stranded in Miami. So what do? Well, I know that we have a network all across the country.
Yeah.
So I send out last minute. We're talking last minute, a couple hours before. And I'm like, hey, I want to go to dinner. Who wants to go to dinner? and I had, I don't know, 6-something people, you know. I mean, we're talking last minute,
Yeah,
right?
hours.
If that,
If
yeah.
that, yeah.
Jump in. Zek was there, Cynthia Patton, Aveth, Leslie, Carl. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody, but they're there. And think about that. We're able to spend at dinner a couple hours, and they're able to pick my mind on different things, and I'm able to pour into those people. I promise you, every single one of those individuals left there with massive guidance, direction, energy, and value.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it's fun to be and all of our coaches do the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, coaches go and Meg was just in New York and did that. A couple of people came into Orlando, and I think Brandon went out with them.
Uh-huh.
I think that I can't remember if it was Brady and Hunter or Zach, but they were down in Atlanta.
Atlanta did one, yeah.
We do meetups and that kind of stuff all the time.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. That's awesome. What else? What else is available to those people within the Multifamily Mindset Network?
I'll loop it together and say education.
Yep.
And our education, yes, it starts with this event here, this 90-minute session that, I'm pointing to this, my hand, that kind of like sets the tone of yes, it's possible. Then there's a 3-day event that's like shows you how to make it possible, right? It enhances your belief. Then there's this step-by-step platform to help you make it possible, right?
Help you do it.
Well, what's crazy is we're about to change up and enhance, grow that whole platform.
Yeah.
And those of you who are in our mentorship program, if you don't know this, if you don't know, now you know.
It's harmony.
It's harmony. I'm just telling you right now, it's powerful, man. How do I know it's powerful? Well, do we take feedback from the last couple years of students going through, and we put together this new platform, this new, we call them tracks, right, that you go through and progress through. I'm so pumped about it.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
It's going to be
And
very,
you know
very
what?
valuable.
A couple years from now, we'll enhance that even more.
Yeah,
That's
who knows
what
if
growth looks like. Feedback, growth, application.
Yeah.
Anyway, so mentorship, you know, our confidence is low anytime we're starting something new. Getting access to mentorship, coaches, people who can put you in your place and let you know, like, no, yeah, you're doing a great job. Keep going.
Yeah.
Or, no, hey, no, that didn't work because of this. It didn't work because people are mean and you're horrible and you can't do it. It didn't work because you did this part wrong.
Right.
That's huge.
Right.
And then mindset. We have a whole, obviously, focus on mindset. Growth cast, y'all tapping into, right? But we have mindset trainings every single month. We have a whole mindset course that people go through. Big aspect.
Awesome. What are some of your top resources to continue growing your mindset? Right? We talk about growth mindset a lot. We've talked about it a lot today, the importance of it and how it's a key component of being able to take down these multifamily properties and enter the multifamily space is your mindset.
Yep.
So how do you continually grow your mindset? Tyler Deveraux.
How do you grow your mindset? I'm going to spin it on you and then I'll dive in.
Read,
Okay.
journal, I listen to podcasts.
Yeah, journal is huge. I like that. It is, man.
Yeah.
Journal's huge because you're recognizing.
That's
right?
why it's so big for me, man.
Yeah.
Is journaling because you get to recognize that growth every single day. The gratitude bit of the growth guide as well is very impactful. Those are the things, and I surround myself with individuals that also want to grow their mindset as well.
Huge.
Those are probably the biggest things that I do.
I love that. I mean, and I do the same thing, right?
You're right.
I'll give you a couple. Number one is to be humbly confident.
Okay.
Fia just reached out to me, okay?
Yeah.
And Fia, part of our network, she sent me just this morning. I was pumping gas, and the message came through, and
She's
I listened
awesome.
to it. So it was perfect.
It's awesome.
But humbly confident. You might not think that's a resource. It's absolutely a resource, dude. You have to assume there's something you don't know.
Yeah.
What she was saying, she's like, man, hey, huge learning lesson, man, for some people. I'm seeing people come through who have had some success in other areas, and so they just assume that they're going to have success here. It's very similar to what I was talking about with brokers, right?
Yeah.
Just because you've had success in one realm, one avenue, what's the word I'm looking for?
Avenue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not the word I was looking for. But just because you've had past success does not mean that you're guaranteed future success. Think about if you were to just go back and be like, why were you successful in that other avenue? Well, it's not because you just went in there and assumed that you knew it all. and assume that it just came because
Right.
you went in there humbly confident. You knew that you could be successful.
Exactly.
But you also knew that there was shit that you didn't know.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
So here's what pride does. So I mean, I see this, man, where people will go in there and they'll get a deal under contract without any other resources in place. They haven't talked to any investors. They haven't talked to sponsors. They just go and do one area and almost look like it's almost like they think these other areas, these other steps are almost beneath them.
Yeah.
The minute you think that, especially when you're starting something new, is the minute that I promise you you're going to have a rude awakening.
Especially when you're starting something new, but also always. Not just when you're starting something
Yes.
new. Yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly it. Always, man.
Yeah.
So listen, those of you who have had past success, awesome. You know what you should do with that? Remember that and utilize that to know that you can succeed in anything as long as you look back and really recognize what did it take to succeed. You know what it took to succeed? Being humbly confident. Knowing that you could, but also knowing that there's shit that you don't know. And to surround yourself with people that maybe, just maybe, know some stuff that you don't know. Like, think about this curriculum that we put together. Why did we put it together? Because I interviewed nearly 100 people.
You knew what was missing.
Imagine how prideful you have to be be like, nah, fuck it. That step don't matter to me. That doesn't make sense. Well, you're going to have a rude awakening, man.
Yep. Yeah.
You know how many times we get phone calls? I mean, dude, right now, man, we're in this. I'm trying to help this person, but, dude, I mean, this person's about to lose a lot of money because they didn't listen. And we tried to step in and help and then give guidance, and even we were going to step in and help. But they didn't listen to the guidance. And so then 2 weeks go by. They're already in crunch time. 2 weeks go by. And they're like, hey, okay, psych. We think we do want you guys to come in. And we're like, no, those funds have already been allocated other places. That was 2 weeks ago, man. This business moves quick. I mean, dude, that makes me sad. But it's like you gotta understand. So many people go out there and try to just get the most amount of the pie that they can possibly get. Get a piece of the pie.
Yeah.
And then continue to grow.
Sure.
But understand that there may be something that you don't know, right? Number 2 is books. And I've already talked about books, but man, I'm trying to read books all the time. Power of One More by Ed Milet, phenomenal book. It's one of my favorites as of late.
It's ruined me in the best way possible. I'm being so serious, dude. The Power of
Always
One More.
one more.
Always one more. Always a little bit more. Always. Oh, dude, it's the best. I've loved reading that.
It's a huge separator, man.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. One of my favorite books that I've ever read. Because it truly helps you understand. When it talks about the devil, I don't know if you're spiritual or not, or if you believe in a good side, bad side, but even if you don't believe in a good side, bad side,
Read this book.
You have a good side, bad side, and it's telling you how you get in your own way, or how the devil gets in the way. However you want to view it, it's fact.
Yeah, it's a good
Great
book.
book, man.
It's
It'll open your eyes to a bunch. And then The Magic of Thinking Big, phenomenal book.
I haven't read that. Who's that by?
David Schwartz. I can't remember. I think that's it.
The Magic of Thinking Big. I need to read that one. You've also
Phenomenal book.
Okay.
Phenomenal book, man. And that talks about relationships. That talks about obviously thinking bigger, and thinking bigger in every aspect, And then listen, number 3, and write this down. Choose to be a freaking leader. I've talked about this multiple times, but do you want to know why that helped? Think about the initial question. Top resources to help you grow your mindset. That was your question, right?
Yeah.
Choose to be a leader. Do you want to know what a leader does?
like that.
A leader doesn't blame other people.
Nope.
A leader doesn't fall victim. A leader doesn't. A leader knows that they are responsible for the growth of other people. And if you're responsible for the growth of other people, then you need to make sure that you're growing yourself to grow other people. Be a leader, man. When you hit a stumbling block, be a leader. Know that by you overcoming that, you're going to help other people overcome that.
Exactly.
But when you get around a group of people that start to complain, you're the leader that's going to help get their ass back on track. Because complaining ain't going to get you nowhere or them anywhere. You can either fall into that and be like, yep, and then guess what? You're going to be same position as those people that you've allowed to impact your vision. But if you're a leader, you either help those people or you move past to another network. Sometimes you can't help people that don't want to be helped. You just cannot.
Good point, dude.
You just can't. One of the biggest things that I have learned from starting the multifamily mindset is you can't help people who don't want to get helped. Some people just want to complain and be the victim, and that's a fact. Some of you listening to this right now, you want to just complain and be a victim. Even though you'll hear that and you'll be like, no, I don't. Yeah, you do. Your actions tell me that you do. You need to be aware and catch yourself in error in thinking to know that you actually enjoy being a victim. You enjoy being a victim so much that you love complaining about your problems. You love complaining about all your stumbling blocks. You love complaining about how unfair life is. Well, guess what? You're also going to love how shitty your life is. Or you're just going to complain about that too because that's what you do. If you're a leader, you're going to love finding solutions. You're going to love helping people overcome problems. You're going to love being the creator of circumstance instead of the motherfucking victim of circumstance. Your choice. Be a leader.
I think we'd just turn it off.
How do I drop this mic? Well,
No, it's so true. And so true. You have to make the choice of what you're going to focus on.
Man.
On what you're going to focus on. You're going to be a leader and you're going to do the things the right way, or are you going to not be a leader and you're going to focus on the bad things and do the things the wrong way?
hey, Cindy Harding, I apologize for dropping an F-bomb. I didn't see that Facebook message the other day that you told me language. I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm going to try to lock it up, okay? I apologize.
Well,
It's probably not going to happen, but I
There it
saw it, I hear it, and I love you.
appreciate the check. Awesome. Tyler, thank you so much, dude.
Yeah.
These things that we went over today, these resources that people can use to get started in a multifamily space are very important things and very, very good things. So thank you for taking the time
Welcome.
and spitting
Love
this
the topic.
knowledge, getting people going in their multifamily journey. As we wrap up here, Aloha value.
Yes.
A Hawaiian value.
And I put one in, okay?
Okay.
You told me the topic, and I put one in. It's the same one that I shared at our Maui meeting. We do a Maui meeting every month where all of our team members here at the Multifamily Mindset get together, and I do a training. And I did Ahanui. And we've done Ahanui before on here, right?
It's a great one. We'll do
And
it again.
Ahanui means, there's the meaning of Ahanui and the principle of Ahanui, okay? The meaning of Ahanui is great or long breath. So Aho means breathe or to breathe, and then Nui means big, great, long, large, a lot, something like that. So Ahanui is the great or long breath. And I related it to free diving. And when you free dive, you have to take this great long breath and then go down, and then you have to hold your breath for long periods of time, right? Sometimes in life, we have to hold our breath as well. Sometimes as you're learning something new, you have to have a long breath to be able to get through, to be able to, see the reward at the other end. The greatest rewards often are the ones that take the longest to receive, right?
Such a good point.
Learning a new skill, building a stronger relationship, studying to pass a test, getting into that first deal. Those rewards that you're looking for, they don't just happen overnight. So my question is, what's going to happen to your mindset when it doesn't happen overnight? What is it? Are you going to have patience knowing that success is a process? Or are you going to, and take a long breath to help you understand that? Because the principle of Ahanui is patience. So Ahanui, the great or long breath, the principle of Ahanui is patience.
Right.
So are you going to have patience and understand that, once again, success is a process, and it is the result's inevitable if you fall in love with the process, right? So those who live with Ahanui, they're more relaxed, they're less prone to stress because they stay positive and they know that the hard stuff is going to pass, and they know that they wait without getting frustrated, right? And not just wait sitting there. That's not what waiting is.
No.
Waiting is still moving, still progressing, but eliminating anything that's going to stop you along that way, right? And instead of procrastinating, you make smart goals and you move forward. And remember that the reward is not just the destination that you're getting to, dude. It's the journey. It's that long breath in between. We spend so much more time of our lives on the pursuit of a goal than the attainment of the goal. We got to find ways to have patience, to take that long breath and enjoy that long breath along the journey. If we do that, game over in the best way.
100%.
Yeah. So, anything else you want to add to that?
No.
Okay. Y'all, hope you learned something and pulled something from this drip. If you did, go share. And man, you guys are doing awesome with sharing and rating and reviewing, and I love you and appreciate you for that. We have seen the impact here at the Growth Cast. We've seen more and more people pile into the Growth Cast and be able to benefit from everything that Jackson and Dallas and everybody puts together to be able to help with that. So thank you, man. It has lit a fire underneath us to continue to improve this process all the time. And you know what? We enjoy that process too, as I'm taking this great long breath in between.
Yes, sir.
Love y'all. Hey, have a great weekend, a great week whenever you're listening to this. And remember, damn it, remember, live always with aloha. Peace.